Hey, what's that? That sneaking giant. Oh my god.
Hello, welcome to another episode of Opening Legacy Season 1 caches. My addiction yet again got the better of me and I continue to grab 50 of them. I'm currently emptying my settlements, just making sure that everything is up to date. And yes, I do have a fleet of around 30 ships, which considered snow and brigs, all up to rank 12. Besides my main ships and my D-How. I'm currently in Necropolis. And I'm at this beautiful statue. Well, anyways, let's hop into it. Oh, by the way, before we completely start, if you come here often or if you like it, watching these legacy caches opening, don't forget to like, comment down below what you think of it, and subscribe. It's free. And it notifies you when I send a video. We start off with the Basilisk Trees. A raider. Increase your charge rate of the vulnerable effect, has piercing. Plus it's Culverin, so this is not a top deck gun, it's a top and lower deck gun. So if you compare it to the bottom, you have 10 gun parts, and this is on the Artificer. So that's great. Another Basilisk too. Ooh. Black Prince, very good armor. Has explosive resistance, fire and piercing, no flooding resistance, which is a little bit sad because this season is all about flooding with the Corias and stuff. Perks is handy, reduce the damage taken by 50% when the hull is less than 33. This is very useful, 50% less damage. And for instance, if you have a rigging station which heals you when you're below 20% HP, you are very hard to kill in PvE. PvP, you're very... it's very low to the boundary of getting crew attacked, so I wouldn't juggle that, to be honest. Carronades, which are the Culverin epics. They have Riptide, so they have flooding damage to begin with, but when you deal enough flooding damage to proc the circle that you see on enemy ships, where they actually are overflowing when the water comes out of the side of the ship, what do you get? It adds 50% of damage as severe damage. So what do? You make them flooded, they'll slow down, they'll take damage over time, and then you add more severe damage. It is great. Flooded also gives severe damage, which is the red bar. So you just double up on it. It looks like a very good build. Palinnikos Flame 3, which is used with the Zamazamas or the Basilisks in a build where you crew attack a lot. You increase the charge rate of vulnerable effect, plus it's Burning Tree. Very good on a Sandbook because fire is the main damage. This only can go on the front of the ship. Keep that in mind. Termites 3, which is a rocket based weapon. It is good for sieging. It's a little bit burning, a little bit piercing. Overall damage is nice. It deals 200% weak point. It has 30 in the mag. Once you fire, you can pretty much go to another weapon if you want to, but you can adjust the trajectory throughout firing as well. Royal Custodian. Everybody probably has seen one of those. Refortify applies the fortified effect for 12 seconds after using a repair kit, which increases the armor by 35. So if you use small repair kits, you can keep 35% armor up for a long time. The statistics go as follows. It mitigates a lot of explosive damage and piercing. Fire and flooding a little bit less, but the main brim of this season is flooding. And a little bit fire, but the fire comes mainly from PvP. So mainly flooding. So it's decent armor. It has some mitigation, but not all. Skurlock Long Nines. The mass breakers of the game. These are long nines. They have a decent range, 1000 meters. The perk is whenever you apply the Thornsail effect with Skurlock Long Nines, you deal 7000 damage. This cannot be braced. This is super good damage, it's 7000. If you look at the total damage, it's like 3000, but that makes it nice. It has piercing 3, so you add 30% of damage as piercing. Plus you get 100% to weak point, so that means you'll deal 250 weak point damage. You deal 50% extra on default on a weak point. With that added, you do 250% in total. So if a cannonball would hit 1,000, no, you hit 2,500. You also have Tearing 2, which increased the damage by 50% when hitting sails, so you deal more damage to the sails, which is great for your Mossbreaker. Chalet 3, which are the explosive flooding torpedoes. It's very handy because it has an explosive and flooding, although explosive doesn't do major things. It does have, some ships have perks, for instance the Padawakang has extra explosive reload time reduction and damage when half sailed or anchored, so might be handy. But the floating is good, and the arming as always is nice. Gamba Kobe, which is, this one looks as a beginner very good in this season because it's 40 away from flooding and reduced damage taken from flooded effect, but for the rest it offers no stats, plus it's a blue. I don't use it, but it's good for a beginner. Well, there's the counterpart, the Kawaka 2. It reduces incoming ramming damage, and this one actually has solid stats against flooding, fire, and piercing, which is great. There's no armor that helps against steering yet, and explosive is not that many people use that, unless you're dealing with somebody with Dardanelles. Wrathful Ward. This is the toxic armor. When you hit while you're bracing, a noxious cloud is released around your ship that deals 3000 poison damage and depletes crew stamina. The crew stamina depletion is nice. 10-second cooldown. This is good for close combat situations. It has decent stats like lower flooding, lower explosive, lower fire, lower piercing. So that's a great stat setup. Loophole 2. I'm gonna get rid of this one because I only take Loophole 3s. Deals nice damage, explosive and flooding damage. Always good combination. Overall a good centerpiece. Oh, not a Loophole 2. Oh no, don't. There we go, the rigging station, the one you usually combine with the Black Prince if you're doing PvE. Or depending on your build, of course, but this one makes you use way less medical supplies. So, it's pretty much an emergency rigging station. So you recover 1% hull health per second when the hull health is less than 20%. So when your hull is low, below 20%, it starts repairing 1% hull per second. If you combine it with the Black Prince, you're already below 33, so you take 50% less damage, plus you heal 1% per second. Even if you brace on time, you can heal through a lot. It's a good armor to have. Combined with the furniture, of course. Another Kalinkov Slim. Twin Winch Ballista. This is a very nice front piece. It can only fit it on the front. This one is the longest range weapon in the game currently. And this weapon can be charged twice as long for increased damage and range. So if you increase it and you get the damage, you can do up to a total of 225, because it's the 50% plus the 75%. So your base amount is 100, then you add the 75 plus the 50, which is 225 weak point damage. But at maximum charge, damage increases to 600%. So that can be a lot of damage on a weak point. Oh, by the way, one add-on to the rigging station. This is like Season 1 furniture. You can only get it out of these caches. So you know. Oh, sorry, I had to sneeze. The Kalinikos Flame 2. As you can see, this one is 578 and this one's 790. It's a little difference in damage, but that's about it. Here we go, the Great Spring All 3. Can I do the mouse thing? Oh yes, I'm good. Ballista Bolts is what it eats. This one has tearing, in opposed to the Twin Winch Ballista. Has less range, but also more, a lot of damage when you charge it at maximum. Has piercing, deals also a total of 225 weak point damage, and the charge time is 1. Mons Mags 3. These ones I don't see people use, but I do think they're very good in sieges because you deal increased damage to structure by 50, explosive, piercing, and overall there's a lot of damage coming from it. Might seem to be a good weapon to use. And yes, you have 4 gun parts on the side. On the Artificer. Or the... no? Yeah, on the... they call it the Brig, but the... Artificer and... since there is the... what's it called? You got a Brigantine, and this one is called the Brig. I just tend to call it the Artificer. Wardrums. Things you can buy still at the manager from St. Anne and from Telok. It is Wardrums. Reduce crew stamina depletion while trimming in combat. Could be handy in the future for some ships, but for now there's better furniture to place. Another long 9, always good to have. Rama's Legacy. Torpedoes. For now we cannot, or the torpedoes are good, but they are not as versatile as the rest of the weapons, and you cannot buff them too much yet. That they feel like they're super strong. But the refined Rama's original torpedo design. Increase level destructive on multiple torpedoes hit at the same time. So that's what you do. Torpedoes, instead of like the normal cannons, you fire one at a time. There are exceptions, like Dardanelles have unison, they shoot at one time. But torpedoes, once fired, go all at the same time. So if I double click on it, the side of the ship has 4 gun ports. The back has 2, the front has 2, etc. But if you're on the side, so you fire all 4, and if all 4 hit the target, you deal increased amount of damage for every simultaneous hit. Simultaneous hit means every hit that hits at the same time. It deals flooding damage. If you get over 150 or over 100 meters, you get 150 damage for arming. So you can do a whole lot of stuff with it. There is already a couple speed increases, so it's more of a quick shot. But if there's a little bit more buff to it, it would be great. But overall, it is very good statistics. Oh, talking about guns shooting at the same time, Dardanelles. Bombard gun, good damage. One of the major perks why people like it is the unison. Allows all weapons at the same quadrant to fire simultaneously. Same quadrant would mean one quadrant is either the front, the back, the left side, or the right side. So, once you shoot that, if you shoot the whole right side, or if you shoot the right side, you shoot the whole side in one go. It is very good if you can aim. If you're not good at aiming, then if you're shit at aiming like me, you'll miss a lot. Because if you miss one, you miss all 4. So that is the downside. Plus side is that it's explosive 3, and it adds damage that way. It deals a lot of damage in one go. It's handy. And you can fire a lot, but it also costs a lot of bombard bombs, which are hard to find nowadays. Zama trees. These are usually perked on the Sandbook with the Kalinikos Flame, because they increase the charge rate of the vulnerable effect, plus they also have burning. It's like a burning shotgun. It spreads in a wide range, so you can hit a bunch of weak spots and all that huazoo on the side. But the main purpose is you charge crew attack faster. Another carronade. And where did... there is to go. My brain can't handle. Another rigging station, always good to have. Thermites tree. Another wardrooms. Ooh. A Monsmac tree. And then we go next. Loophole 2. We've seen that. It's the bait boy. Just getting rid of it. I don't need those. Le Flot, the poison mortar that brought everybody down. This mortar I really like because of the crew sapping effect. It's very handy if you run Skurlock Long 9s. You tear the enemy ship, torn sails will cause the ship to stop in its place. You hit them with this, they cannot brace everything, because they ran out of energy to brace. Which is great. It has explosive. Might be handy on certain builds as well. The only downside is the mortar. It's hard to hit. That's why I prefer to have the torn sails with it, so you can actually sap it and actually hit it. War drums, we've seen those. Another LaFlo. Monsmac 3. Rama's Legacy. Kavaka 2. Another one. War drums. The Twin Winch Ballista. Chalet 3. It's actually a balanced one for a change. A water tank. Oh, we haven't seen this one this episode. So this one is very good in my opinion on the snow because you reduce the crew stamina depletion while bracing. So while bracing is active, 50% less stamina depletion, plus you increase the stamina recovery by 20. So this one makes you be able to brace for a long time, and since the snow at level 6 is so strong, it's a very good furniture. Another Rama's Legacy. Zamazama 3. Termites 2, which is going straight to Davy Jones at the bottom of the ocean. War drums. Oh, we're getting war drums today. And another Kalenikos Flame 2. Straight to the bottom. Last 3. A Great Spring All 2. I'm sorry, buddy, but you're going to Davy Jones as well. 3 tier 2s in a row. A rigging station to build it up. That's great. Last but not least, another Black Prince. It seems low. According, like, besides that, we didn't get the red version of the... There's another, the Wailing Ward. We got pretty much everything. That's good. It's like a nice balanced cache. And it will add to my stack very nicely. So that's great. Well, I want to thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, of course. And I'm very curious what you guys think, because this is going to be a build-up for Season 1 caches. And hopefully next season I can do the exact same. So I hope you guys like that. Yeah, anyways, see you next time. Bye-bye.